Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This episode, is going to be a lot of getting side questing stuff, a lot of stuff I can get at this point, and here are these stakes so we can pound it with our new hammer. Some things to talk about first. I didn't really talk about last week, but for some people, I don't know if it's applied to everyone yet, but YouTube, of course, has gotten rid of the time limit for the most part, which is, I don't know if I already talked about this, but even if I don't think I did, because YouTube already got rid of the, YouTube has gotten rid of the time limit for some people who don't have copyright strikes. I do not have copyright strikes, so I can upload past 20 minutes, or 20 minutes, I can, but past 15 minutes. So what I'm basically saying is there's going to be probably quite a few videos, maybe, depending on how long these, the chapters in Paper Mario and Super Paper Mario and the and I got 30 and 50 are my new the amount I can carry of bombs and arrows from the Pond of Happiness, but and the dungeons. I'm going to try and divide this up as evenly as possible, basically one dungeon per video and one chapter per video for Super Paper Mario, and if it goes, I'm going to try and keep them under 20 minutes and not over, because I personally think that 20 minutes as itself is pretty long. I know a lot of these videos possibly could be quite long, but I'm trying to divide them up as much as possible, because I know a lot of people don't like to watch 2 videos of just random wandering, and if you can watch just one, that makes it easier for some people. But yeah, that's basically what's gonna happen. Is for like this, it's gonna be one dungeon per video, and for the others, it's gonna, or for Super Paper Mario, it's gonna be one chapter, as in like 1-4, 1-2, 1-3 of per video. And if you think I'm making them too long, like maybe I should divide them up more, let me know. I know some people really just like long videos, and they don't have any problem with, hey, this is my house in the Dark World, it's a bomb shop. Nothing you could do here really besides buy bombs, which you don't need to buy because you can find them anywhere. But there is something important later in my house, or our house of the Dark World. But for now, it's unimportant. But yeah. So yeah, let me know if you think that these episodes, like 20 minutes, is way too long, especially since I think, quite possibly, depending on how things work out, I might be doing 20-minute videos for a while. It's not like something it really depends on the amount of stuff per video. I don't want to I don't like cutting. The thing with the no time limit is I like to not have to cut, halfway in a temple or halfway in a chapter. I'd rather just have it all in one video, and sometimes that may result in a very long video, and if that's the case, let me know if it's really bugging anyone. I hope it doesn't. Hello, little boy, or little thing, elephant. After running this world, I turned into this shape. I enjoyed playing the flute in the original world. There was a small grove where many animals gathered. I want to see that place again. I buried my flute there with some flower seeds. Will you try and find it for me? Yes. How'd you bury it then if you were... I guess you must have buried it and then came to the Dark World. So we got a shovel. This is the first game that had a shovel. We're not going to keep the shovel, we're just borrowing it. The shovel will allow us to dig stuff. You can take advantage of it, but there's really not any reason to use the shovel. It's just kind of... It's more just to do this side quest of sorts. So anyway, let's use the mirror to go to the Light World. Technically, couldn't he have brought the boy with us to Light World? I mean, we did that to... Well, actually, we haven't. Oh, hi, hello. Kinda looks like us. The sound is so sad. Well, kind of sad when you consider the aspect of what's happened to the boy, but it's also it's a happy song that, depending on how you look at it, it's also a very sad song. So yeah, he was transferred to the Dark World, and that's kind of like his after image of sorts. If you dig up here, you can find the flute, which is not the Ocarina of Time. I am sorry, but it is the basis of what the Ocarina of Time was based off of, since this game came out before Ocarina of Time. And now we will go back to the Dark World to visit this boy again. And when I said there was a character who was very sad, this is the character that is very sad. It looks like he can't play my flute anymore because he's kind of like, looks like a tree type thing. By chance you go to the village I live in, please give it to a tired old man you will find there. Well, my mind is getting hazy. Please let me hear the sound of the flute one last time. It's so sad. I mean, like, look at his whole life because of the golden power, because of greed. His whole life is gone. He's ruined his whole life, and now he's not even. He's a tree now. It really, that makes me really sad. It's saddening. It's, you know, I don't know. That moment always, I always like Flute Boy because he's the one character in the game that I think, if anything, makes you think, wow, people's lives are being ruined. You know, more so than anyone else. It really, it's saddening for me at least. You know, I mean, I'm trying to think of either other Zelda games. Majora's Mask did that too. Majora's Mask did that in the aspect of it had a lot of characters who it was like, it's very sad that these things happening to those, that bad stuff is happening to these characters, and more so in the fact that when you help them, you had to reset time eventually. So all your deeds that went towards helping them were for naught. They eventually just, there was no, you know, that's the sad thing overall. It's like, you're never, it feels like no matter all the stuff you're doing, nothing is coming of it. And one of my friends didn't like the Zelda game. That's the one aspect of Majora's Mask he doesn't like, because it felt like, you know, nothing was coming from it but hello thing. Hey, I blast you for waking me up from my dream, deep dark sleep. I mean, thanks a lot, mister, but now I'll get my revenge on you. Get ready for it, or if that's okay with you. So this thing will zap you and will half your magic. But unfortunately for him, or fortunately for us, it halves our magic, but halves the amount of magic we have to use. Now, when I was young, this always confused me. It was like, well, crap, I needed to reset. I lost half my magic. No, actually, it makes it so that you use up less magic. But yeah, Majora's Mask, I kind of like that because it makes you feel this whole sense of helplessness. And you can be like, well, you don't want to feel those emotions. No, you don't, but that's what's so great about it. The fact that it makes you... I like games that make you think. I like games that, you know, can be fun games for gameplay, but at the same time, you know, are more. They can be storytelling. They can be like a book. A book can be fun to read. You know, a movie can be... Not necessarily a book, because book is all story, but, oh, did we meet my son? Yes, I did. Where is he? Is he alright? Well, yeah. You keep the flute, and will you play its sweet melody for the bird in the village square? Now, even though it's very sad that the boy is gone, I'm actually kind of glad I got his flute because it's a very useful item. If you play it for the bird in the village square, we will be able to use that bird to travel to different places in the Light World, which makes traveling much easier. But yeah, kind of like movies. A movie can be fun to watch, you know, the whole popcorn movie aspect, but at the same time, I guess my thing with games is they can be fun to play, and that's great, but a game that is fun to play and also makes you think and makes you feel emotion, I think is even better. I like thinking. I enjoy thinking. So, to me, the fact that Majora's Mask made you question, you know, it's like, is it really worth it? Nothing is coming of this, and it feels like no matter how much I do, nothing happens. It's you know, it's a very thought-provoking game, in my opinion. And this game kind of does the same thing, and I guess ultimately, again, but that's probably part of what Ocarina of Time. Part of the problem with it is it never did that for me. It doesn't necessarily do it doesn't make me think. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the game, and again, a lot of what I do is mostly just, fans of the game are so insanely, hello Skeleton Kuko, are so insanely in love with the game that, I feel it makes me more so want to, criticize it. But even more so, it's just the fact that it didn't make me think, and while there's nothing wrong with the game, compared to other games in the franchise like this, or Wind Waker, or Majora's Mask, yeah, it's not one of my favorites, because it doesn't do that same thought process that this game does. And this game doesn't even do it it does it very subtly, but it's still Hello Mario, and Hello Bomb, and Hello Heart Piece. So yeah, Mario makes a cameo on the walls of all the houses in picture, not all of the walls, but some of the walls. But yeah, I guess that's the thing. I like it when games make me think and make me question moral values. I don't think necessarily all games should do that, but I like it when they do that. And Zelda Ocarina of Time, the fact that it's a part of a franchise that has a lot of games that do that, makes me like it less personally. So yeah, that's, I guess, hopefully the conclusion to my Ocarina of Time analysis, because I really need to stop talking about that. Because I don't absolutely hate Ocarina of Time. This guy reminds me of the Hamburger Helper hand, even though he's more of an octopus. A beauty in the pyramid, but someone sealed the door. Standard bomb. That's interesting. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. Ocarina of Time didn't make me feel the way other Zelda games make me feel. End of story. So here we have an area to go forward in the light world. Now, there's something you can get here at this time, and technically speaking, I technically shouldn't be able to get here on the... Well, I can. It almost feels like it's cheating, but it's not. There's an item in the next dungeon that allows you to get to this side in the Dark World. But as you saw, if I take the warp in the light world that I can access with the hammer, below the forest, the Lost Woods, if I take that warp, I can go to the town in the Dark World, which allows you just to access items that most people who didn't know that warp would not be able to access until they got the second dungeon completed. Here we're back in Hyrule Castle, or the sewers of Hyrule Castle, just because I took the wrong grave. But let's go find the real grave. Because there is a grave that has an item that's... I don't think it's required. I don't think it's a required item, but it's not necessarily, it's not one that's, it's a good item to have. And we'll leave the church. I always like the church. It's got a nice little, it's pink. Look, pink hat, pink hair, pink church. There's a lot of pink in this game. Hello, Ghost. I think those are pose. They don't really look like the pose of the day, that we're used to, but I think they are a pose. Zelda series usually has. If you see like a mummy, it's a Gibdo. If you see a skeleton, it's a... I always forget their names for whatever reason. There's no reason to forget their names. A Stalfos. If you see a squid-looking thing, it's usually an Octorok. So yeah, there's... Though again, some of the Octoroks go through a multiple. There's quite a few changes for Octoroks. There really are probably one of the most changed enemy via the series. Here we have the Magic Cape. The Magic Cape makes you invisible, so you can't get damage. It can be a very useful item, especially for bosses. I don't like to use it because it feels cheap, but I will if I just feel like using it. Maybe I'll use it once, perhaps. And now that we're back in the Dark World, we can go up on this area, which will allow us to access that cave that you saw up there that we couldn't access normally. Again, there's a lot of heart pieces that are that you get this way. Heart pieces and again, items too. And technically speaking, also that grave with the Magic Cape, you saw it was covered with black rocks. Technically speaking, you can access it at this point, but you could also wait until you get an item that allows you to lift those black rocks, and then you would be able to get it then too. But actually, technically at this point, I think you technically also could get that item if you wanted to. You can actually do the dungeons out of order. It's not that hard to do the dungeons out of order. At this point, I believe we can access... I don't think we need the Dungeon 2 item for... We might need the Dungeon 2 item. I don't necessarily know for sure, though. I think you can access Dungeon 4, though. You can definitely access Dungeon 4 and 3. Whether or not you can beat the dungeon, I think you can. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's use the flute. Ooh. And we will warp up to Death Mountain. This is another item that we can get at this point because we have the Magic Cape now. But we technically... I guess it's not technically we shouldn't be able to get it, but normally people wouldn't get it at this point. So we'll go up to the top. Now, if you remember in the Dark World... Actually, I don't think... Nah. I think I accidentally did that off camera. But, in the Dark World, the landscape changes a bit, and there's a cave we can access. So we'll go to that warp that's on Death Mountain. That's probably the most evident one, because you have to go in that warp. And there are various warps throughout. Usually they're hidden by rocks that you have to pick up. But there are various warps throughout the world. Also, as you saw at least once, if you ever can't get back to the Dark World, just go the warp through Hyrule Castle. That Hyrule Castle warp, if you just walk through Hyrule Castle, you will automatically be warped to the Dark World, which is probably the easiest way, but, you know, if there's a certain area you need to get to, it might be better to just, you know, go through the, you know, Light World. And now I'm invisible. I know sometimes, for whatever reason, when I watch my footage back from the last one, the, Dazzle just, gets rid of, some of the invincibility frames when you like flash. It just makes you invisible for whatever reason. But that was actually invisible. That's what the cape does, and they got the Cane of Burnham, which makes a defensive shield around you. Now that rock that was there, that big one, I almost think you need the. You're supposed to have the a stronger way of picking it up, but for whatever reason, I'm able to pick it up now, like, with only the first glove. I almost feel like that's the kind of thing that you would need, and yep, my first death of the game is from spikes, because I was dumb and didn't, I should have taken a magic potion with me to fill my magic meter, but, yeah, I almost feel like that's the kind of thing that you would need, I'm just gonna say, you get a better glove that allows you to lift up things. It's kind of obvious, but I almost feel like you need a better glove to lift up that. It seems like it would be heavier, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's programming glitch or something, or if it's the VC version, but I'm able to always lift up those blocks even before getting the next item. And if anyone actually knows, I don't think you're supposed to though, but I know you can, at least in the VC version. Either way, I'm not going to be using the Cane of Burnham all that much. I more or less just have it for the sake of having it. And it's a useful item. Again, it puts up a shield, but it's not something I really find myself using all that often. Here, we'll bomb this wall. And there's a cave. Hello, cave. And there's the thing. Take some rupees, but don't tell anyone. Keep this between us. There's always, like, all these enemy characters in the games that are like, though he's not really an enemy, but are like, here's some rupees, but keep it a secret, or otherwise I'll ruin my reputation. Oh, 666 rupees. And now there's not. And now there's not. Even more so, and more so, and more so. Tons of rupees. See, again, it's not that hard to get rupees in this game. And there's not, again, a ton of stuff you need rupees for, so don't worry about rupees. So let's head to where the desert is, actually, because there's something we can get there. If I can run. This music really is really mood enhancing, or not mood enhancing, but it really sets the mood for this area. Do 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 do. Come on, Link, go to the Swamp of Evil, though it used to be the desert. There's a thing and another thing killed with you. Why am I singing? Seriously, that's not. No, why am I singing? So, if we go here, there's always these kind of areas. That's kind of suspicious. Why are there those pegs? Well, we can actually use the mirror to go to the Light World. And another one of those pedestals. The last pedestal to get the last medallion. The magic of Bombos. Hello, Vulture. Goodbye, Vulture. And there's the Bombos medallion. So now we can make things blow up. That's fun. And we have one more thing to get in this episode. Or one more thing I want to go and grab before we head off to the next dungeon. Over here we have, this is right below where Flute Boy's Woods is. And there's a ring of flowers over there. If we use the mirror here, again, a little bit suspicious, we can access this cave. And in this cave is a heart piece, as you may have guessed. So, with that, we have gotten almost everything I think that we can get at this point. So we'll be heading to the second dungeon, which is, you know, it's not a bad dungeon. So this has been Megafreak 400. And next time we'll have fun in the second dungeon. So I am reminding you to, dance. dance all night long unless a giant gorilla comes at you. Then just stop dancing and run away because it's a giant gorilla. You don't want to be attacked by a giant gorilla.